Yo, 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 good evening, family. Devin, Tati, how we doing? Good to see you too tonight. Oh, one second. Hold on, let me mute myself. There we go. Good evening, guys. We're gonna let the music kick out for another, like, 3, 4 minutes, and then we're gonna get this started. We're gonna do a little Blitz session tonight. We're gonna do this about half hour, go through some pairs, give you guys some setups, and then you guys can execute them on them as they kind of show up later tonight. So let's give everybody a few minutes to hop on, guys. Make sure you guys blast out the link. This is public. Send this out to whoever you would like. Put this out to your teams. Make sure they get them on this call. Let them know this FRX call is live again, guys. This is gonna be a Blitz call, so tell them they do not want to be late. They want to get on this link ASAP. Alright, guys, 1 minute, 1 minute, we'll get this started. 1 minute, we'll get this started. If you guys have some pairs you guys want me to go over tonight, feel free to throw that in the chat. Let me actually bring you guys over. And we'll go live here. Alright, let me know you guys can hear me good in the chat. You guys can see the screen. If you guys have any pairs you want to go over tonight, again, this is a Blitz FRX analysis session. We'll be on here about a half an hour looking for little scalps that we could take before the market starts to pick up. We are at the end of the week here, so we might get a little picky with what we're looking at, but oh, we got Loki playing. Alright. Oh, we cannot see the charts. Okay, 1 second. Alright, there we go. We got the charts up. Okay. Devin, I appreciate you, my guy. Alright, guys, so like usual, I'm going to go through just a few different setups. I want to do this quick, fast, and easy tonight so people can watch the replay if they need. And then we're not sitting here like last night with just a very unvolatile market. It does look like we're getting a little bit of volatility here. I want to start with GJ. I want to look at a few Asian-related FRX pairs to begin. So I'm going to stick to GJ. We're going to be doing GBP AUD. We'll look at AUD USD. There is a setup I'm looking at on EU as well. So if there's anything outside of that that you guys want to go over, feel free to throw that in the chat. On GJ, this is going to be pretty simple, guys. We're actually trading higher than we were yesterday. If you remember what we discussed yesterday, we were actually looking for it to come below this range here, which I had talked about on yesterday's video. We were looking for it to dip below this range to buy it up. That setup actually did end up happening, even though I was a little skeptical of it being like a 40-50 pip move. It didn't quite get as low as I wanted, so it's not like something that I would have probably taking an entry in, but if you were paying attention and did see it wipe this range and then kind of come back up, you could have had the right idea to get in for a buy. I'm still looking to ride out this momentum. I am a little cautious because it is the end of the week, right? We have been trending bullish. We want to kind of stay with that momentum, especially in our scalps. We don't want to try to get stuck in some sort of like weird drawdown against momentum on a scalp. So I do want to see if we can get back into this market, even if it's just for 20, 50, 20 30 pips. The area I was looking for, the most logical for me, this is kind of the range we've been playing in. I would love to kind of get below here, but yet still above this market structure. All right, because I wouldn't want to kind of print a new low. That being said, hold on, these purple lines, this is not how my chart usually is. There we go. Right, we have these equal lows here, right, this area of support, which might give out if we can get some volume coming down. So I would like to see a kind of clear of these equal lows. I know a lot of people probably look at this candle to play, and depending on the volatility when this breaks, this might be a good spot. But I would say you could probably even get away with looking a little lower down here. This is only the difference, that's the difference of about 12 pips actually. Or 8 pips. Yeah, 8 to 10 pips depending on your spread. So actually that is a pretty big difference, especially during a scalp. Every extra 10 pips you can get, I would take. So for me, I would definitely look, if we can get this low, it's very possible we just pop this resistance, and if we do, this whole idea that you just want to throw it to the side. But if we don't pop it and we do come down, actually we're looking to buy. I would love to entertain a buy off this 150, 104. Again, if you're going to be doing a buy limit, you probably want to just call all these trades like a 10 pip stop. GJ, you might want to give it a little bit more room, maybe, but I wouldn't. I'm not looking to risk more than like 10 pips during the Asian session, if I'm being real. So for this, my entries within this, you kind of want to use like below this low. But again, if you're not using a limit, I'd probably execute here and I'd probably run like a 6 pip stop, 7 pip stop. Now, I want you guys to consider one thing. If you are looking at this trade and you're thinking about putting a 6, 7 pip stop in, just consider real quick what your spread on GJ is. If you have a spread of a pip, pip and a half, 2 pips, then obviously a 6, 7 pip stop's not going to work. You're going to need to run something like a 9 or 10 to kind of compensate for that spread. If you're trading on a funded account with FTMO or a funding talent, and you have virtually no spread, then you can kind of play around with this a little bit. Again, for my funded traders, you can run like a 4.5, 5 pips, 6 pips stop. The idea is that it's probably not going to, or shouldn't break this area here. So I like the setup on this. Again, if you're going to use the buy limit, please run like a 10 pip stop because you don't want to get slipped, maybe even like a 14, 15. If you're going to market execute as we kind of break through this candle and you're going to take that full confidence trade, you can get away with like 6, 7 pips. If it kind of moves hard against us on a 5-minute candle, just get out of the trade. Done deal. Looking for take profits on this. We don't want the same thing to happen to us that happened on EU yesterday. If you guys took the EU trade from yesterday, you will know that we didn't. You either came out of that at break even or you took the 11 pips that it saw max profit. So we don't want that to happen. I would tell you if this gets over 15, 20 pips, this gets back up to, above this range, back above this support here, this old support, which would at that point be, potentially resistance. But if we get back above this old support level for 25, 30 pips, I would take some off. But ultimately, again, we're looking for it to clear these highs, right? We're looking to ride out that momentum. So I would be looking for above these highs on an exit. It would be important to me to get out of this trade though, because again, look at the way we've been trending all week, right? So at some point this is going to hit its final take profit area and it's probably going to sell off again. Remember, we're going into Friday trading, so if institutions are in this trade long and they want to book some before that weekend risk, there's only so many days left in the week they can do that. Tonight basically being one of the last times during London hours. So you might want to get out as soon as this breaks the resistance. Let's take a look at EU. EU kind of was a good opportunity early today. Super low risk. Again, this is the trade we took yesterday. If you guys are not on the call, we had taken buys here, messed around on our entry for a little bit, to ultimately kind of coming up to the area where we wanted to go break even at. You can see it did that. I even published in the chats to go break even on it. It had to come down, came back up, and eventually it had, collapsed deeper into early London, into almost New York, which again we expect. These Asian session trades, if they're not done in 2.5, 3 hours, get out of them. They're not going to survive London and New York, right? You can see, no matter what you were doing in this case, both sides of the market were taken out. So again, these trades are not going to last. That being said, tonight, same kind of idea. I would love to see this kind of pull back. EU's been a lot less volatile. I'd probably look for another London trade off this 117.60 level. I'm still bullish on this. We talked about it yesterday. Like, we're playing. There's a lot of higher time frame action happening within this old order block here. So the more we test this level, the more liquidity we're gonna build up under it. We could push lower, but I'm gonna keep playing it until it fails. I don't know about you guys. Has anybody here been catching trades on EU? Yeah, this is all smart money concepts, Victor. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat, bro. I was kind of just getting into the charts. But yeah, this is all going to be smart money concepts, the stuff that's taught in the bounce back course on Go Live. But yeah, if you guys have been in these signal chats this week, they've been smacking off this institutional level. I know they took it today at 117.71. Like, that was a sniper entry they took, and that hit for like 20, 30 pips TP before it turned around against everybody. But this level is a level we've been playing all week, so I'm looking to play it again. Again, same idea on GJ. I'm looking to get below this wick, but above these wicks. I would love a setup like this right off that. Again, super low risk. I'm probably going to get out of the market up in the supply, though. You see how this has been kind of... This level here has been pretty important the entire time. Taps, builds a whole range about it. Once it breaks through, gets super volatile. When it comes back to it, super volatile. Plays around with it for a little bit. It's very likely that even if we do spike down, get an entry, and we come back up, it's gonna play around here until the end of the week close, right? We'll probably come up, come back down, and just trade in here until, next week. So EU, if it can get this low, I would entertain something. It might even come a little bit lower and test the middle of that old 4-hour institutional candle. If it does that, just take whatever it is, the 3 pip loss, the 4 pip loss, try to find a re-entry. I mean, we're looking for 37 pips here, so if you lose on this trade once or twice, for 3-4 pips, ultimately the trade's still valid. Keep in mind too, guys, we're not going to buy it just because it comes down here. We need to see specific things, and the specific thing that I always look for is when it comes down into the zone. Very simple. If you guys understand the smart money candle entry technique that people use, let me see if I could just draw this out for you guys real quick. Let's say this would be a down candle, right? Alright, say we get this 5-minute down candle. Let me see if I could actually move this right against here. You're gonna have to excuse my candle drawing skills. I don't know how good they're gonna be. Right, say we get a 5-minute play like this. You get a 5-minute candle down, you get a 5-minute engulfing. 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to buy this, but not immediately at the close. You want to see this candle close. This candle close is super important, but not even that. What I need to see next is I need to see the next 5-minute candle that starts to form push back. And as it's forming, then now this candle you have to play while it's forming. So say it's doing something like this now and it's kind of coming back. I'll grab my entry here, and because one of two things is gonna happen. Either at this point, especially if the candle opens up, fresh candle opens up, 5 minute candle, first minute starts coming down, second minute kind of continues coming down, and now it's down here. The candle's halfway through. I'm gonna usually take my entry. Why? Because this was my confirmation, right? So whatever happens with this candle is either gonna invalidate my confirmation or just add further confirmation to my trade. But this is the confirmation. So at this point, we're just looking to get in. I'm gonna grab this because now this is the test down, and what you're basically doing at this part of this situation is you're now basically betting that this candle is actually not gonna close this way, and it's gonna close. I mean, any way other than that. It doesn't even have to be a giant green candle. It could literally be very slightly down like this, with a wick. Right, little pin bar, right, whatever it may be, something like these little candles here, right? Or it might even go bullish. That's even best case scenario. Best case scenario is it leaves a wick and it closes bullish, right? But that's the time to try. You don't wait for it to kind of close up, because now you're entering up here, and this might be the difference between now your stop loss from here, and again, you might be like, oh, it's double confirmed. Yeah, well, I mean, again, this wasn't your confirmation candle. This was your confirmation, right? Now your stop loss is like 20 pips, whereas before, in the same area, your stop loss was 7 pips, right? That can drastically change the risk to reward. Like you see, like this 4 pip trade, if you take it for 4 pips, my risk to reward is what? Well, 1 to 11. You add a few pips to it, now it's 1 to 4. So again, some people might look at that as like risky. That's what I do. I would wait for the 5 minute engulfing. If I get that 5 minute pullback, usually what I'll do is I'll put half my position. I won't go full my position. I'll put half my position, and then if it does push against me a little bit and the trade's still valid, I might add the rest of my half. I might just accept that I'm gonna lose on half, which is great. But that's the entry technique you're looking for once it gets down into the zone. Best case scenario, what it does is it prints this little 5 minute candle right below this, but right above here, and then this green candle closes back above the support. That's when I'm like, all right, cool, time to get in. Like, especially if the next candle pushes down, I'm like, yeah, like let me grab this right below support entry. Looks like we're gonna close above it. And if you're wrong for a little bit. If you're right, you might get a nice sniper entry that gives you 37 pips on a 4 or 5 pip risk. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody, because I don't want you guys just jumping into this stuff right when it gets to our levels quick. And it's not even quick in and out. It's not even like you would get out here. It's just like, I mean, this isn't quick. This is 37 pips on EU. Like that might take 3-4 hours, depending how the market moves. But hopefully you guys are pretty clear on like what we actually look for entry wise when it does get to these areas. Actually, let's see if. Yeah, I was hoping that GJ would have an example. Actually, you know what? Yeah, finding an example on the fly is going to be hard. See, the way you would have like entered this trade, see how this doesn't engulf? The way you would have taken this trade last night is after it came into your zone, the second it erased this candle, I would have got in. A candle erase is very important to me too. This candle came down into support. We broke through that. Even at the close of this candle, I mean, I would have measured it and I would have been like 15 pip risk. If I wanted to risk 15 pips, I could and just enter after we erased that candle. Let's see what else we got. Let's take a look at GA real quick. We got about 15 minutes. Yeah, I don't like whatever this is. Was there news today? Is there a rollover news today? No. Actually, 1900. When was this? Is that a rollover? That might be. Yeah, let me just see if all of them look like that. Cause that's I'm not playing with that. Yeah. All right. So there must have been some sort of like weird rollover news. I don't like playing ranges that have this because this now the range is already kind of it's recently kind of flushed out the liquidity. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, but what we're looking for basically on most of these pairs is to kind of come down, test fresh liquidity, and then we'll based off that lack of reaction thereof. But when you have something like this is kind of already like wiped liquidity on both sides very recently. Now it has to build up more. Yeah, I wouldn't really. I can't touch these. USD JPY. USD JPY. So ranges like this, look at all this built up liquidity under here. You see how people kept playing the support, price kept playing the support. There's a lot of liquidity under here. This is like begging to get ran on. You have lower highs. I'm sorry, yeah, lower highs into the same support. Eventually the support is going to give out. The question is what happens after that then? Like the question is like, can you take a trade like this on the break of that? Right, we have all this liquidity sitting right here. Right, a bunch of people that are probably trading this have their stop losses here. Some probably even have their stop losses right below this. The only annoying thing about this is it's not really a true institutional candle. It's not a full 5-minute engulfing. But you could look at a setup on here. This might like be the best, honestly. This might pop the trend line first before coming down, like a little fake out of the trend line. Because a lot of people are like buying this, so if you were going to trap people in this, if you were quote unquote a market maker, like you would just do this. Because that'll take out anybody selling the trend line. Then it'll take out the people buying the support. And then you have a clear pathway to like 110.30. Yeah, this is like, probably this is even a better setup than I think EU. Because EU is kind of gone. Like this is when you wanted to trade EU, and this is like the end of the day, so you couldn't even really do that. And then GJ, again, like this is like a pipe dream. Getting this low is like a pipe dream. This is like a London setup. Like, honestly, the Tokyo setup for this might be like honestly just selling it once it breaks these highs, right up into this candle, whatever this is. This candle right here. This is probably your Asian play. Watch. We're gonna drop a line here, and I'll update my chats. I don't want to spam other people's chats with random little things like this. But if GJ doesn't come down, the sell is gonna happen off of this. You're gonna pop all this liquidity sitting up here. Pop that by what a good 25 pips. It's a nice little GJ run by like 10 o'clock. And then this will probably come down to like your London setup. This will probably just be like your this quote unquote entry would be your TP for the sell. Because if it's a good buying area, it's probably a good spot to get out of a sell too. So GJ might be a wash. USD JPY might be your play. So I'm gonna officially give you guys UJ as the play to take tonight. You guys could take GJ and EU if you want, but what was the risk on this? Yeah, this is like a sub 5 pip risk. Okay, so it's gonna be a buy limit. USD JPY. What's that entry? It's called 110.05. Stop loss. So again, like you guys run a 10 pip stop if you have more than a 1 pip spread. right? So your stop loss for this will be more like this if you have a larger than a 1 pip spread. Now, if you guys are using, again, if you guys are using funding talent, FTMO, if spread is less than, I should have just used the freaking symbol, 1 pip, then you guys could run that tighter stop, 110. I'm sorry, 110. Yeah, 110. Just because if you guys, again, if you have a spread of like 2 or 3, it might get a little too volatile for you. So you might want that extra pip or 2. Alright, family, this is our setup. Some rules for this trade, management rules. I mean, risk what you want. I'm not gonna tell you that, but break even. What's this? 110.20. So alright, it's a break even after 110.20. Your TP1 is going to be what I have here, 110.30. It's really not that different from the. And then if it does run throughout London as well, 110.60. Yeah, and that'll be the setup. That'll be the one setup that I'll give you guys as an actual call out. Again, you guys know what to do if EU does come down. I just think it's very unlikely that actually happens. GJ, again, I think this is going to get away from us. It might pull back a little bit based off UJ, but it might not break this purple line, so it might not get as deep as we want. The pattern on UJ is a lot nicer. 854, so we're right on target too. Let's see. Let's go check out the chat real quick. I have not been checking that out. Eric, I appreciate you, my guy. All right, any questions, guys? Anybody got anything final? What do we got? Let me know. If you guys enjoyed the stream, if you guys make money off UJ, feel free to throw me a sub. We will be doing these sessions. Again, it's going to be Tuesday through Thursday, same time, 8:30 every night. Looking for a quick scalp setup, and then we'll be live for London and New York. Let me just put this EU trade back up here before somebody... Not EU. UJ... Alright, no questions, family? I bet. Then, guys, that's the end of the session. Appreciate y'all for hopping on. I'm going to let some music play after the next 2 minutes if you guys want to set this trade up in your MetaTrader 4s. Love and appreciate y'all. Hope you guys have a blessed week. Remember to throw a like on the video, throw me a sub, follow me on IG. Love y'all. Have a good night.